I understand that you wasted your chance to withdraw safely.
The Dreadnought was a perfect...
Admiral, you jeopardized your mission and your people. Get the hell off my ship. You said they have a planetary defense cannon?
HUD. Admiral Chorus sacrificed his own ship to destroy it.
Shepard Commander, we are prepared to offer assistance.
Good to have Tali back, even if it's just for a bit. Adams is good, but I never feel like the engine's running right without Tali around. Kind of a good luck charm.
One of us needs to take those AA guns offline.
James, get on it.
Tech's not my specialty, but I'll pull a few wires, see what comes out.
This is Commander Shepard. Dorn didn't make it, Admiral.
He didn't? I see.
I'm coming in with a shuttle. Where are you?
My surviving crew found their way to a clearing. I'll upload their location.
Stay together. We'll meet you there.
No, the Geth have cut me off. I hear another wave approaching.
Give us your coordinates.
Leave me. My crew will soon be overrun.
So will you.
My people are non-combatants, Shepard. They'll be slaughtered. Rescue them.
Admiral, I need you leading the civilian fleet if we're gonna end this fight.
Civilians, our entire race took up arms for this insanity. It's too late for us.
It's only too late if you die down here.
You can't possibly think you can stop this war.
I don't know. What I do know is that I can't do it without your help.
Ancestors, forgive me. Uploading my coordinates.
We're coming. Admiral, come on! Welcome aboard.
Shepard, my crew. Perhaps there's still time. Hello? This is Zal'Koris. Does anyone copy? Hello?
We've got to go.
I pray they found comfort in the homeworld skies.
Thank you,
That was a bit of a long introduction, but the last video was such a good mission.
It was.
But then again, this is such a good story arc. So, hello everyone, welcome back once again to another round of Arbitration Studios as we continue our journey across the whole damn thing of Mass Effect 3. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Captain Jack.
And we are about to go on to, like, what can best be described as one of the most important bits of story in the Mass Effect trilogy that you only need to play once.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate to say that, but this ties up about 30 plus minutes of what could have just been cutscene.
Yeah, I think that
let this play while I make my dinner.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I think that I also think that this should be like a mission that you could say, yeah, I went on, you know, like, but not actually have to play it. You know, like, just, do you choose to go on this mission? Yes. Here's your cutscene, mission over. Like, I don't, yeah, there's not a whole lot
There was a sequence in Fallout 4 in a downloadable content campaign called Far Harbor, where the whole thing is that you go diving head first into a VR interface that was the read or uploaded memories of an android, and he uploaded them and separated them because one, he has only limited onboard storage capacity, and then two, these were memories that he intentionally wanted to forget, really to save his own ass, but also he understood the need to preserve them, A, for posterity, and B, because he might need to remember it at some point. So he left himself heuristic clues as to where it is. So you discover these memories and you have to go through it. And it's this sequence that takes advantage of Fallout 4's settlement building mechanic. And it's really, really clever. It involves laser puzzles where you gotta bend light in certain ways. And I really loved it, and it was a really great story, and it's a real pain in the ass that I always try to avoid doing. To the point that now that I've gotten all the achievements in the game and I don't have to worry about things, I'll just take a completely different route in that story and then just summon all the quest rewards through console commands. Because that fucking Minecraft block sequence thing just, it drags on.
I think especially in role-playing games, especially in RPGs, there are sections that are so good once.
And we are about to undergo one of them.
Once.
So the story about this is, if you weren't paying attention to the to what's going on in front of us, and you were just listening to the dulcet tones of Captain Jack's sexy voice and my annoying nails on chalkboard screed.
Indeed.
Yeah. My mom always said I had a face for radio.
She did.
Anyway.
And a voice for writing.
So we destroy the server?
The ironic thing is that I have both a podcast and I write fiction.
It's true.
So, and in fact, fun thing about that, just as an aside, I got the year-long 4-part serial for Shrapnel this year. So it is going to be the year of me in the BattleTech community, and it's going to be great.
Love it. Love that for you.
And by the time this goes out, I think the second part of that serial is going to be released. Shrapnel, the official BattleTech magazine. Link in the description below. Anyway.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. I am absolutely shameless. So
I think we've proven that.
I am as shameless about plugging myself as Captain Jack is about plugging Krogan.
Yes. I love it. I've got you doing it now.
Anyway, the story behind this is that among all the concerns in order to secure the Quarians and keep them as intact as possible so that ostensibly they can leave, we have the military fleets, the heavy and the patrol fleet, are constantly being harassed by Geth fighters and dropships.
Right.
And we can disrupt their communications because those vessels are being controlled remotely from the surface of Rannoch. They don't have onboard programs.
Right.
So if we go into the servers that are controlling them using technology from Project Overlord, what in the David Cronenberg are you doing, Legion? And that's the whole thing, is that I mentioned last time that as time goes on, Legion is going to get a little bit more questionable.
And problematic.
Thank you, Morden. And we are going to call him out on it because there's going to be a great line on this where the Geth are supposed to be better than this. And Legion's response is going to be the ultimate thing that will lead to my decision on how to handle the Geth.
See, so I'm not necessarily against this technology that we're going to be using here in a second. I think it can be used for evil purposes where you...
Well, all technology can be used for evil or it can be good.
I think that, like like your search history, I think that it can be used for evil purposes. But, but I anything associated with Project Overlord just makes my back teeth hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
So anyway, what we have is that we are going to be essentially entering the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be going into the Geth consensus and physically dismantling the Reaper code that is enhancing Geth intelligence, and that will somehow shut the server down and save the heavy and the and patrol fleets as a result.
Right.
I wish that we also could disconnect all of these Geth primes that we are surrounded by, because oh boy, does that just not look like a bomb about to go off.
Right. No, I totally agree. Your entire statement, I agree with.
Now, it's actually really interesting, though, how we go about doing this and how we interact with the world around us, because as Legion explains, it makes perfect sense in that we can dive right in, but even if we dove right in, all we would see are the ones and zeros. So it all has to be filtered, and it's filtered through our memories and our ability to understand information. And to understand the Geth consensus as something familiar to us, we process it as a bunch of squares.
Well, because we're kind of square. I really
There's a swing of the joke.
Well, it's a pretty decent thing to always assume that I'm joking.
There was a politician running for the House of Representatives who outed herself as a swinger because it was discovered because the opposition discovered that, so she was just like, fuck you, I'm coming out.
Yeah, I remember her. I think she was California. I think it was California, to be honest with you. But
what's your search history like?
I brought up footing, so you can imagine what mine's like.
We're not talking about that again.
I'm just using that as an example. But all things, all joking aside, everything like that, this is a great thing the first time you play it. Mm-hmm. Every time after that, it is a tedious slog that you're like, is there any way we could do this quicker? There's you're looking for a mod. Is there a mod that just lets me bypass this? Because there's no challenge to it.
No.
There's no...
It is, the terminology for gaming is that this is a walking simulator. I forget the actual PC game that kind of popularized the genre for a little bit. Something Edith.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was literally you wind up on a dock in New Hampshire, and you are, and already I'm getting lost because I don't understand. Turn the fuck around. But you're on a dock in New Hampshire, and you're literally just walking through Mount Desert Island. Mm-hmm. I was talking about Far Harbor earlier. That takes place on Mount Desert Island as well. And you're just psychically linked with bad memories in this one house, and all you're doing is just living those memories as you walk through the house and the adjoining property, and that's the game.
Yep.
And it was, when that came out, it was prized, it was praised, it won awards for wonderful writing and a unique gameplay style, and indie game publishers being indie game publishers fucking ruined it by putting their own half-ass things together, and with contrived trauma porn narratives in order to say, oh, this is a deep narrative virtual experience, blah blah blah, yakety schmackety. And like none of them were as good. There was another one of these that actually was good, but it also had some moderate horror and surrealist elements to it, and it took place in an office. But maybe that's because I work in an office, like in a cubicle farm, and so that was kind of like, I don't want to say therapeutic, but it was like I was reliving my trauma.
I actually did voiceover work for that game. It never, my voice didn't get into it, but I did do voiceover work for a game that matches what you just said. I don't know if it's that game, but I did do voice work for a game that was like that.
I actually have to look up like.
But you know, a lot like indie wrestlers, indie games are exceedingly hit or miss. Yet they all think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Which in the case of indie wrestlers, I totally get, because to do that for a living, you kind of have to have a certain amount of...
The one that I was talking about that was like on this island in the middle of New Hampshire or wherever was Dear Esther, by the way. And the other one that takes place in an office space called the Stanley Parable.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if I can't really remember. But I remember I did some voice work for something that took place in an office, and it was one of these simulator games.
The Stanley Parable was around 2013.
Yeah, no, this was after that. So yeah, not that. Because this was, oh no, we knew each other in 2013, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's been like almost 20 years, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes.
Because I think, what are we, 07, right?
Something like
that, yeah.
Yeah, and Dear Esther was first released in like 2008 as sort of like this you have to know where to get it thing, and then it reached mass market in 2012. So, anyway, first thing about the Geth. Geth's history. And it's the classic, like, Isaac Asimov iRobot, although iRobot was like a collection of short stories.
I think so, yeah.
But they were all like thematically connected. And the Geth kind of follow this classic iRobot paradigm. And it's the same paradigm that, like, first off, there was the Will Smith iRobot movie, which generally follows like the overarching narrative of the collection.
And it's a lot better than people give it credit for.
Will Smith has never been in a bad movie, except for that one that he wrote and produced so he could be in a movie with his son, who I'm still trying to figure out if that is his son or daughter or something in between or not.
I don't know if they've come out as trans, but I'm sure somebody will jump on the comments and just be horrible.
Probably not. We are small and non-monetized, so.
Well, but I don't know. But I just know that they did do that movie together, and it was bad.
But that's like the only
so
bad movie that Will Smith has ever been in. Everything else has at least been like creative.
Yeah. Apparently, he cried about how bad it was.
Look, he just like you can write good episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because those stories because those were your stories of your childhood and your teenage years, not necessarily being like living in your rich uncle's house in Los Angeles. He pretty much lived in Philadelphia until he went to Hollywood as an adult, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
But the point being, like, all of the stories were essentially his, not even hood Philadelphia, but working class Philly, contrasting with his, now world of privilege life, that he attained first in the music scene.
Yeah, and
because people forget that Will Smith was a successful musician before The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Very successful.
Not like MC Hammer or Tupac or whatever levels, but he was able to live comfortably with DJ Jazzy Jeff. So
yeah. But and again, we're trying to come up with any way possible to make this episode interesting. Because
So-
if you've played it, it is not. If you have not played it, it is.
Back to iRobot. The whole point of it, though, is the point in which a society loses control of technology.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, and we've spoken to this at length, that it was fear that drove the lack of control. But here's the other thing where I think losing the original Geth writer hurt bad, because the artificial intelligence reaction here still treats the individual Geth platforms as individuals,
Yep.
even though they are not. Because the thing is that, there's no reason to attack the individual platforms because the Geth consensus is decentralized.
Right.
And so, if you're not shutting... smashing the platforms does nothing. You have to do what we're doing in here, which is attack the servers.
Yep.
So it's like, what the hell are you even doing? If you can't shut them down remotely, then cut the power to them directly. Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's yeah. You can kind of, if you know what you're looking at, which we do, you can definitely tell
where the failure point was
yeah.
in the narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that always strikes me is that, so the way that it works, that the Morning War was supposed to work, is that I think the Quarians had a total population on Rannoch of about 9 billion.
Yeah.
And that does not account for their colonies across the stars,
Right.
which were all pretty localized to the Perseus Veil.
Right.
So I'm going to be generous and say they had a grand total of 20 billion.
I don't think it's a unreasonable assumption.
Now, first off, the Geth I don't think there's a situation where the Geth consensus could be networked across stars. I think that they have to be localized. So you don't have one Geth consensus, you have however many colonies that they had. So they all should have evolved fairly... Once the Geth hit mass market, the different consensuses should have evolved along similar lines, but still separately, with individual quirks here and there. The other, it's like the differences between species of tiger. The other thing that, frankly, bothers me is that it is a matter of fact within the universe that the Quarian race was reduced to 1% of its total as a result of the Morning War. And we are Americans, and we are both students of Omar Bradley, who famously said, "Tactics win battles, logistics win wars." I do not understand the logistics of how the Geth could have pulled that off.
Yeah.
And literally, all it could have done is... Because Quarians reduced to 1% when they made their move, when they made the move to leave.
Yeah,
and it's like, if they were reduced to 1% when they left, and in the aftermath and in the consolidation of the migrant fleet, because they didn't start as the migrant fleet, they left scattershot and then reconsolidated. Right. Like, I could buy that, but that is still, a lot more than 1% that should have been able to survive. So that's again kind of a... It sounds dramatic and it sounds incredible, and it's exactly that. It is incredible. It lacks credibility.
Well, and here's my kind of, maybe my take on this is that, and obviously you kind of have to suspend your disbelief and kind of go into the world a little bit for this line of thinking. People tell stories. And so the actual like population of Quarians might not be what the Quarians are saying it is.
And you would have a point, but there's another side to this, and that is the Geth, who ostensibly do not lie.
Yeah,
ostensibly. Now we find out, no, in fact, they're fucking liars. But they also, if anything, the Geth consensus has the incentive to say we didn't kill that many. Mm-hmm. So if they're saying 1% and it was a tragedy, then I have no reason not to believe that number. Mm-hmm. And then that is the sort of what the hell actually happened? How did they pull that off? Sort of thing.
How did they pull it off without massive atomics or biological warfare or some weapon of mass destruction?
And the thing is that the dirty little secret about the Quarians is that before they got their suits, they always had kind of a weak immune system, but they were regarded as not Krogan tough, but definitely Turian tough. Mm-hmm. And that might be an aspect of their dextroamino biology that you just naturally get tougher critters than a levoamino biology. But I mean, the the way that their immune system also works because they don't no disease doesn't affect them the way it affects non-Quarians because the planet evolved without insect life, so everything else had to evolve to be pollinators,
right?
Including the Quarians themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, would biological warfare even work like that?
Right. So, well, it would be a different kind of, maybe they just introduced right-handed proteins, into the food supply, whatever it is.
Yeah, this is a Solarian in me that's still grossly inefficient, but it's the point is that nothing about nothing about the Morning War itself makes sense. But it's even worse when you consider the fact that, how the Geth are supposed to interact as a entity, collectively and individually, should have made everything about the Morning War impossible.
Yeah.
It's just... Whoever took over from Legion and Mass Effect 2 wanted to tell iRobot.
Yes.
They wanted to tell iRobot in the Mass Effect universe, and it completely disregards how Legion established how Geth society, how the Geth consensus was supposed to function as it was originally written.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's... if that's a case of, it's mine now, I'm going to do what I want, or if that was built more around a fundamental misunderstanding of what the Geth were supposed to be as originally envisioned. I don't know. Could be both. Could be neither.
I mean, and it could be, and as we are aware, and mm-hmm. as we are oft to say, it could have been EA coming in and going, this is all way too complicated, make it simple. Mm-hmm. Make it something simple that we can understand. Make it a Skynet situation. Make it a Skynet situation. Instead of having a deeper kind of thing where you can see, they just said, make it a situation where the organics want to kill the...
Now, I want to share some things that I appreciate on this. I do appreciate that, first off, in processing the Geth consensus, that because Shepard has never seen a Quarian without their mask, and in the case of If You Do Romance Tally has only ever seen one, that Shepard doesn't have the information needed to process what a Quarian looks like because he's not seeing real visual data.
Right.
So everything is being filtered through his own consciousness, and that's why the Quarians are wearing suits. I like the fact that right there with the, or not right now, but previously when the Exodus was happening, that the Geth looked up and what their first reaction was essentially to enter standby mode. They just turn around, face each other, and just pause there. And we see something similar to that in Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles when a Terminator is sent back in time, successfully completed their mission. They secured 4 Skynet vital resources in a nuclear-proof bunker, and then it just stood there, shut down. And that was, and we see that like 3 other times in the series where a Terminator sent back in time completed its mission and entered standby mode.
Right.
And that was cool. I appreciate that. I also appreciate that it was vitally important for Shepard that Shepard shaking Legion's hand was so monumental that it was preserved for posterity in the consensus. So that was cool. And now we're fast approaching the part where, like, in a situation where it's peace at any cost because both of these sides can be an incredible, invaluable asset in the Reaper War. If you're being absolutely selfish about it, would be the logical, this would be a great boon. But if you are a normal person, and I try to establish Agatha Festia as being normal,
Right.
what's about to happen is going to be a huge strike against Legion. And his justification rings absolutely hollow to me. So,
Shepard, are you hurt?
we come out. We are trying to shake off the existential crisis of, did we actually come out? Because that should be everyone's existential crisis when they come out of a virtual reality. And then this happens.
What's
What?
We have transferred
That is more Geth Primes than even we can handle.
Legion?
Legion?
My boy? We're boys, right? We're good, right? We're tight, right?
So Liara one-handing an assault rifle like it's nothing.
to reunite with ours. We were correct.
Like,
These
I
Geth have
get
pronounced
this.
fuel machines
In so
as
many
opposed to
ways, I
Reapers.
get this.
They are now us.
Probably thousands of individual Geth programs,
Why didn't you tell
all
me?
mounted into these super heavy
We did not doubt
platforms.
you. We
And
doubted
this,
your
we
allies.
did not doubt
The
you, we
creators
doubted
and
your
forces
allies.
placed their
You
secret
still
secrets
could have let me
they are
know.
unsuspecting to what it has
And
done
you
to ours.
didn't. So,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, boy, you doubted me.
If you doubt my allies, you doubt me.
This is a strike.
We used
Yeah.
to
And it's strike 2.
Indeed.
twice.
Strike 1 was the admiration of
Council's useless. The
the-
Krogan didn't fight.
what was the
Warriors started
admiration
a war.
of what the Reaper Code is doing to the Geth
Yes.
consensus.
Yes.
How the hell do we beat
No,
the
no.
Reapers if
No, no.
everyone's
I'm
exploding this
I'm with you here. I'm with you
How
here.
much
So
damage
we
would
we
your
are
stuff have
we're
done?
we're in an unfortunate situation.
Don't even
Yep.
answer. Let's go.
And this is, because it's one of those things. Trust has to go both ways, and
It does.
and you cannot and it's different. It is fundamentally different. And keep in mind, we chewed out Victus for not trusting us when he absolutely had to.
Yep.
Legion's lack of trust with us is detrimental to us. It's detrimental to the Quarians, and it's detrimental to the Geth.
Right. And we have never done anything.
What's that?
We have done throughout this series the same way as
We
we
have
did
been an honest broker.
the same way as we did for the same way as we did for the Krogan. We did things honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And we did things above board, and we played straight with them.
There is a time, place, and there's cause to hold back. There are reasons to.
Mm-hmm.
But not when... Yeah, what is the line from The Hunt for Red October? Your Navy and my Navy are operating in close proximity to each other. You understand that this is an unbelievably dangerous situation.
Right.
And in the book, The Hunt for Red October, it's even worse because it briefly opens up a shooting war.
Right.
When some yaks coming off of, I want to say the Kuznetsov, were engaged with F-14s while the Russians were trying to find the Red October. So, because it's just, because it was literally a case of an F-14 in bad weather was doing what F-14s do and using its radar to burn through all the bad weather in order to keep tracking. It wasn't even a target lock; it was just a tracking radar at that point. And the Yak pilot lost its shit and fired.
Yeah, which is, you know, I mean...
And what happens when an F-14 takes on a MiG?
The MiG dies.
Yes.
That's just... The MiG dies. Unless there's like 12 MiGs, in which case 11 of them die.
Because, yeah, it only, the F-14 could only carry 11 missiles.
Exactly. And the last one gets back barely functional.
Well, that's just because it's a MiG.
Yeah.
Barely functional is a normal state of operations for those planes.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when your maintenance sucks.
Well, it's not even that the maintenance sucks; it's that they're MiGs.
Well, I mean, that's true too.
So we got a couple of fun little things to do though. Now that we're done with the walking simulator.
Oh, I mean, I tried to save that with some horrible jokes and some bad, but it's hard.
Yeah, fortunately, we're gonna have some good jokes.
Yeah, I mean
with that. So, and who better to give us a good joke than Joker?
Indeed.
So,
like making love to a Krogan, it's hard.
I could even get a medical exoskeleton with racing stripes. Why don't you have it? Totally fucks with my spatial awareness. Plus, I have these titanium rods running alongside my femurs that allows me to walk unaided.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's my excuse for him and why we see him walking around, even though he kind of hobbles. So, yeah, that happened while we were dead. Because in Mass Effect 1, he says he has to move around with crutches.
Exactly.
So, walked into the Geth Consensus like virtual reality?
Yeah. We're not going to get that technology because you're a pervert.
God damn it, Joker.
Because I know what you would use that for, Joker. And
well, of course we do. She's right there.
And I don't want to have to have the yeoman cleaning that up.
He would only do it in his quarters.
Yeomen still handle the cleaning of the private quarters for officers.
Oh, and Trainer's a lesbian. Oh my god.
And
that's why she's a lesbian.
And that's why
she clean up Joker's spunk.
Indeed. Well, I'm hoping that Trainer's not the only yeoman on the ship.
This is the Navy. Yes, she is.
Well, you know.
On a ship with a crew of 50 or less, yes, she is.
Well.
Although, given that we are definitely in action stations mode right now, shouldn't everyone be at a station right now?
Very true.
We gotta check in on Ashley. This is gonna be entertaining, isn't it?
Oh, Ashley's on the ship?
Ashley's on the ship.
We already got Ashley.
Yeah, we
did.
I know.
I forgot about that.
I know. I hardly use her. She helped us pick up Jacob. Oh, that's why you forgot.
Yeah.
But anyway, there she is. There she is.
Is she drunk?
Not anymore. But she is hungover.
Williams?
Terrible. Not acceptable. Not acceptable, Lieutenant. Yeah, I know you used to be a lieutenant commander, but you're now a lieutenant.
Not so loud, please. Thank you.
Why are you curled
I'm gonna be loud.
Why are you curled up here?
My head.
I have been this drunk precisely 3 times in my life.
I've been this drunk way more than 3. I spent a lot of time that drunk.
Drunk enough to the point of paralysis, essentially. Not because you're actually unable to move, but because it hurts to move.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You end up in this sorry state.
I pretty much spent the majority of a year that way.
Vega said
Yeah.
he had just the thing to take my mind off.
And
Just
did
the
that
thing.
come in a bottle?
Will this thing come in a bottle?
This
This empty bottle?
It's empty. Oh boy.
Is it time to
Ay, ay,
It is.
I did something funny
I'll
here.
pay you a million credits
I,
not to do that, ma'am.
I managed to splice together all of the interactions on this.
nice.
You're a damn
Nice.
I probably could have done it a lot more often, but it's a little bit of effort.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. But, you know, it's, oh, poor.
I hate you. You're goddamn right.
In 20 minutes.
And that's the negative one, is that she just says, clean yourself up and get back to your station.
As you were.
Ah,
So, but it flowed good to just splice it in.
it's perfectly fine.
Cold floor. I could get Joker to sing for you. Seth Green doing Ave Maria. And then the last thing that we gotta do. Oh,
So,
wait, not the last thing.
Wait a minute. What?
Frozen,
Wait a minute.
huh?
Wait a minute. Wait.
James is trying to bond with Javik.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
What about Gambit?
do we ever find out what Protheans eat?
Yes.
Oh, sure. That seems
Ugh,
reasonable. Okay.
it's not pleasant,
So,
is it?
smoke.
No, they eat anything,
Oh, okay. They're omnivores. All right. Cool.
including babies.
Yeah, smoking. I get
Okay.
it. So jokes then. You got jokes.
I mean-
All
And Krogan
You got any
babies.
good ones?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And Krogan.
That's very unfortunate.
Soylent Green is people.
That's very, very
The
unfortunate.
greatest overacting.
Well, that was a time period of overacting.
Well,
that was-
Charlton Heston only ever overacted.
I
get
don't
it.
care
Yeah,
what anybody
that
says.
was a
That
good
man was a national treasure.
Hey,
I mean, it wasn't a very good treasure, but it was a national treasure nonetheless.
it's like finding your mom's collection of
Commander.
heroin spoons.
James, what are you up to?
Yeah, exactly.
Cooking, hope you don't mind. I'll save it till my well-established return.
Oh,
Not sure what kind of eggs these are, but
of collectible heroin
Oh, if you
spoons.
catch anywhere, tell her I'll save her.
Not the
I'm
not the
thinking she
old
might need a little
McDonald's
nerve to
stir
roast that.
spoons.
I don't think she's
Look,
in any position.
Real good metal one.
I'm not nostalgic
bad.
for
This
the
is just what she
1980s,
needs.
but can we get back to like the mustard gas brown
Not
glass
as good as my
ashtrays?
was, but best thing I've had so
I-
You
far.
know, that sort of
Maybe it's
thing.
best
Not
I-
necessarily the ashtrays themselves, but that kind of glass.
Hey, Commander.
Yeah, I'm
The Pizza Hut chandeliers.
yeah. See, there are certain things I am nostalgic for. The insane cocaine-driven animation movies that came out in the 80s.
I don't, I've watched the anime Akira
You're saying you
over
found none.
3 dozen times in my life. To this day, at 42 years old,
Uh-huh.
I still can't
That's
tell
too
you what that
bad,
movie's
but
about.
Thank you for
Yeah.
looking.
Motorcycles, lasers, Louis Anderson is in there for some reason, and a giant okay.
I mean, I think somebody requested, can you make an anime that isn't overly sexual?
They still failed.
and they failed
And this is the most fun thing.
in a
Garrett
horrific,
showing Legion up.
and they failed in a horrifically Cronenberg-y way.
This is why I like to say, what in the David Cronenberg is that whenever I see body horror? I love the fact that in Rick and Morty they overtly refer to heavily mutated people as Cronenbergs.
Indeed.
And come to find out that in Star Trek Discovery that David Cronenberg's character was the guy from Star Trek Enterprise who's doing the temporal Cold War shit as
Yes.
a man.
Yes.
That is a reveal.
That is, and I'm sorry, folks, that if that comes as a shock to you, but I don't care. But I thought that was a great. That was great finding that out.
Because Reapers
Yep, the Geth were gonna figure into this war somehow.
Yeah.
You two? So, you and Tally start making out yet?
Any word
Or
from
is there some,
Paladin?
like, STD stuff you gotta worry about?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point.
I mean, I worry about chafing. That's why I really didn't hook up with you.
I'm not sure.
I know.
Like, you're a nice guy, and my extranet search history of Turians is quite impressive and expansive.
I mean,
Much like you. I'm sorry, but
that'd be very true.
but I just like
What did you say?
it's not soft.
No. It's not soft and gentle like Krogan, who are surprisingly soft and gentle lovers.
Can't do both.
We're taking. Like I said, not the sort of
Plus, you like the
questions
fact that
I'm
you have
used
to use two hands to cup.
You know
It's
what you're
true.
doing, Garrus. Trust me.
It's
You can
true.
see that.
If you can get a friend, it's even easier because they have 4.
It costs $10,000 a testicle. That's $40,000 for the set.
Indeed.
Tick, tick, tick.
How so?
So anyway,
Every one of them with a
yeah,
million
but
lives
that is it though. We
do
have
the best you
done
can with what you know.
everything that we
It's
need
no
to
different
do
than
in
dozens.
preparation for the resolution of the
though I'm sure
generations-long
you understand
Geth
the
Quarian
galaxy needs
war.
cold
Indeed.
dictators every now and then.
And all we got to do
They
now
get
is
things
go to
done.
Rannoch.
They don't give a
for
damn
it.
about the consequences.
But
Suppose
we'll
that's
be
what it's
going to
going
Rannoch
Jim.
next time. So
Ruthless
until then,
tyrants
thank you very much for hanging out with
10
us.
billion people
We'll catch you
over
next
here
time.
die, so 20
Deuces.
billion over
Be seeing you,
there
kids.
can live. Are we up for that? Are you?
If we reduce this war to arithmetic, we're no better than Reapers.
A nice sentiment. Let's hope we can live by it.